All right, 1.4, day 2, and using quadratic equations with word problems. Example 1, a rectangular building lot is 8 feet longer than it is wide and has an area of 2,900 square feet. Find the dimensions of the lot. First thing I like to do on these is draw a picture. So 8 feet longer, so if the width is x, then we know this has to be x plus 8. And it tells us our area is 2,900 square feet. Area is length times width. So x times x plus 8. And so we know that that has to be 2,900. So 2,900 has to equal x squared plus 8x. And now we'll use, we could just do solving by completing the square. Let's just do it that way. So let's do a plus blank here. What goes in the blank is 8 divided by 2, quantity squared. So that's 4 squared, which is 16. So I'm adding 16 to here and to here. Now I could have moved over the 2,900 and used quadratic formula too. But this then gives me 2916 equals quantity now x plus 4 squared. Take the square root of both sides. So I'm taking the square root of 2916, which is 54. And normally I would put plus or minus 54 equals x plus 4. But we're dealing with area, so we'll look at both answers, but realize only one answer can make sense more than likely. So x plus 4 can equal 54, or x plus 4 can equal negative 54. So in the first one here, I solve it, I get x equals 50. Subtracting 4, subtract 4 here, you get x equals negative 58. We can't have a negative number because it's a length. So the dimensions would be 50 feet by, it's 8 feet longer, so by 58 feet. So draw a picture. I think that makes it a little bit easier. Verify that. So multiply 50 times 58 and verify it works. So 50 times 58 is 2,900. Understand, I know you can see that. You can probably guess and get the answers, but I am going to need to see the work on the assignment to get full credit. All right, example 2. A jet flew from New York to Los Angeles, a distance of 4,200 kilometers. The speed for the return trip was 100 kilometers faster than the outbound speed. Total trip took 13 hours. What was the jet speed from New York to Los Angeles? So we know distance is rate times time. So we're going to fill out a chart here. So we're going to have a distance going out and then coming back. So we're going to have rate times time, and we're going to put equals distance in this column. So I know my distance on both of these is 4,200. And the speed for the return trip, let's say this, let's go this New York to Los Angeles, and this will be Los Angeles to New York. Let's do it that way. So the return trip was 100 kilometers faster than the outbound. So Los Angeles to New York would be x plus 100. And we'll make New York to Los Angeles our x. The total trip took 13 hours. So we know that rate times time is distance. So we could say distance is rate times time. I'm going to write that out. So we know time would be distance divided by rate. So here my time here is distance, 4,200 divided by x. And this will be 4,200 divided by x plus 100. Now we know the total trip is 13 hours. So we're going to incorporate that now into the equation. So we know then that 4,200 over x plus 4,200 over x plus 100 equals 13 hours, because I know the time here plus the time here has to be 13. And that's how you have to set these up. So now solving this equation, it's a little fun too. We have to multiply by our common denominator. been a little while since you've seen these, but our common denominator is x and then x plus 100. So I'm going to multiply each of these by that common denominator. Did a little bit yesterday with the when I had a fraction, so I multiplied by the common denominator to eliminate the fraction. Same idea here. So when I multiply the first one, x plus 100 to the first term, the x's will cross off and I'm left with 4,200 times x plus 100 because those x's will cross off. Now take x times x plus 100 times the second one. So notice the x plus 100 will go away. So I'm left with plus 4,200x equals 13 times both of those. So 13x times x plus 100. Because this 13 is really over 1, so nothing reduces. Now multiply this out. So 4,200x plus 4,200 and 2 more zeros plus 4,200x equals, distribute this, so 13x squared plus 1,300x. I'm looking at these. Let's combine like terms on the left side first. So that's going to give me 8,400 plus 420,000 equals 13x squared plus 1,300x. Set this to 0, so I'm going to minus 8,400 on both sides. 8,400x. So let's put that under the 1,300x. And minus 420,000 on both sides. That's gone. So I get 0 equals 13x squared minus, so 1,300 minus 8,400 gives me negative 7,100x minus 420,000. So this one I'm going to use the quadratic formula. So it's going to be x equals negative b, so 7,100 plus or minus the square root of b squared. So I'm just going to write that as 7,100 squared, negative 7,100, put that in parentheses, minus 4ac, so 13 times negative 420,000. And all of this is over twice a 26. So that's going to be 7,100 plus or minus. I'm going to do negative, put that in parentheses, negative 7,100 quantity squared minus 4 times 13 times negative 420,000. Big number, 7,225,000,000. I'm going to take the square root of that number. So I just get 8,500. So just let the calculator do the work at that. So I have two answers there, 7,100 plus 8,500 divided by 26, and 7,100 minus 8,500 divided by 26. So 7,100 plus 8,500 equals, divided by 26 is 600. And then 7,100 minus 8,500 equals, divided by 26, negative 53.8. Since we're dealing with x being how fast you're going, the negative will not check out. So my x is 600. And that is, what was the jet speed from New York to Los Angeles? So New York to Los Angeles is the first one. And that is my x, so it would be 600 kilometers per hour. That's your answer. All right. Example 3. A rectangular piece of sheet metal is 7 inches shorter than it is wide. So I'm going to draw that first. So if this is x, shorter than it is wide. So we're going to have to make that shorter. So then this is x minus 7. From each corner, a 3 by 3 square is cut out. So now I'm taking that out of each corner. If the volume of the box is 1620 cubic inches, find the length and width of the original piece. All right, so we're dealing with volume this time. So volume is length times width times height. So I know it's going to be 1620 equals the length of this. Well, it was x minus 7, but I took out those 3 corners of 3's in there. So it's x minus 7 minus 3 because I have 2 of those 3's that I'm cutting out of each corner. So this is now x minus, what is that, minus 13. So my length now is x minus 13. My width was x, but I got rid of these 2 3's on the end, so it's times x minus 6. And my height, if you can see it, would be that 3 because I'm folding it up 3. So I have this box going on here. Let me draw one real quick. So my height is the 3 because I cut out those 3 from each corner. Not such a nice thing here. Let's see, does 1620 divided by 3? Let's make our lives easier now. It does. So I'm going to get rid of this 3 over here right now. I'm going to divide both sides by that 3. And when I divide it by 3, I got 540 equals x minus 13 times x minus 6. So distribute that out. So 540 equals, distribute x squared minus 6x minus 13x. And 13 times 6 is 78. So plus 78. I'm going to minus 540 on both sides and combine like terms on the same step here. So I get 0 equals x squared minus 19x. And then minus what that is. So 78 minus 540 is negative 462. So let's use the quadratic formula again. So x equals 19 plus or minus square root of b squared. So negative 19 squared minus 4ac all over twice a2. So 19 plus or minus, let's just get a final answer with that. So do square root of parentheses negative 19 quantity squared minus 4 parentheses 1 parentheses negative 462 close parentheses. And I get 47 over 2. So work that out, get your 2 answers. So 19 plus 47 over 2 and 19 minus 47 over 2. 19 plus 47 equals, divided by 2 is 33. And 19 minus 47 divided by 2, negative 14. Can't have a negative for an x. So it wants to know the original length and width. So my original is 33. What's the dimensions again? In inches. By x minus 7. So 33 minus 7 would be 26. And that's the work I'd need to see. All right, example 4. An object is thrown or fired straight upward from an initial speed of v sub 0 feet per second and reach a height after t seconds is with this equation, where h and t are related by that equation. Suppose a bullet is shot straight upward with an initial speed of 800 feet per second. I don't have the picture, but you can see a bullet going up in the air. When does it fall back to the ground? So my equation now would be h equals negative 16t squared plus 800t because my velocity is 800. So question A is, when does it fall back to ground level? Well, that means my height is 0. So 0 equals negative 16t squared plus 800t. Let's solve this by factoring. So I can say 0 equals, I'm going to factor out a negative 16t from both of those. So that'll leave me with a t minus, so 800 divided by 16, 50. So then I say 0 equals negative 16t and 0 equals t minus 50. So here t is 0, t is 50 here, so my answer, it looks like 50 seconds is my time. 0 is the start, so that's letter A. All right, letter B. When does it reach a height of 6,400? So I'm going to do 6,400 equals negative 16t squared plus 800t. Set that to 0, so 0 equals negative 16t squared plus 800t minus 6,400. Move that 6,400 over. Let's factor out a negative 16 out of all of these. So I'm left with t squared minus, so 800 divided by negative 16 is negative 50. Plus, so negative 6,400 divided by negative 16 is 400. So 0 equals negative 16 times, let's just use quadratic formula. Well, what I have here is I can say 0 equals negative 16. That doesn't make any sense. And I say 0 equals t squared minus 50t plus 400. So let's do completing the square again. Let's move the 400 over. So negative 400 equals t squared minus 50t. Do the completing the squares. So 50 divided by 2, or negative 50 divided by 2, quantity squared. 50 divided by 2 is 25. 25 squared will be 625. And add 625 over here. So 625 minus 400 is 225. Equals, this is now t minus 25 squared. Square root of both sides. Square root of 225 is 15. So plus or minus 15 equals t minus 25. So I can say t minus 25 equals 15. T minus 25 equals negative 15. So add 25 here, t would be 40. Add 25 here, t equals negative 15 plus 25 would be 10. So when does it reach a height of 6,400 feet? At 40 seconds and at 10 seconds. Just realize this bullet is going up in the air. So it hits 6,400 at the 10 seconds and at 40 seconds. Letter C, when does it reach a height of 2 miles? So letter C, when it reaches a height of 2 miles, well, all of these are in feet, so 2 miles would be 5,280 feet per mile. So 2 miles equals twice of that, so 2 times 5,280 is 10,560 feet. So we do the same thing again, 10,560 feet or equals negative 16t squared plus 800t. We'll set it to 0, so 0 equals negative 16t squared plus 800t minus 10,560. Can we divide everything by 16? I don't know. 10,560 divided by 16. It does divide. So I'm going to divide everything by negative 16. So 0 equals t squared minus 50t. And I divided that and I got plus 660. So let's use quadratic formula. T equals 50 plus or minus square root of 50 squared, negative 50 squared in parentheses, minus 4ac, which would be 660, all over twice a2. So 50 plus or minus, let's see what that gives me under the square root. So negative 50, parentheses, negative 50 squared, minus 4, parentheses, 660. And I got negative 140 over 2. So I have a square root of a negative number. So this is not possible. So no solution, or just not possible. So this will never reach a height of 2 miles. Seems a little unrealistic anyway. And letter D, when is the highest point that it reaches? Well, we know, let's see what we do know. We know at 0 it's on the ground, and we know at 50 it's on the ground, and we know this thing goes up and down like that evenly. Gravity works nicely. So the halfway point would be at 25 seconds. So all you have to do is put in 25 for the t. So the highest point would be h equals negative 16 times 25 squared. Let me write the formula again here. So h equals negative 16t squared plus, what was the equation? 800t. So h is negative 16 times 25 squared plus 800 times 25. And use your calculator. Negative 16 times 25 squared plus 800 times 25. It's 10,000. And we label it feet. So the maximum height is 10,000 feet. So that explains why 10,560, it won't reach it. All right, example 5. A motorboat whose speed is 18 kilometers per hour in still water takes 1 hour more to go 24 kilometers upstream than return downstream in the same spot. All right. So this is another one of those distance equals rate times time. So we're going to set up that chart for this. So this is rate times time equals d. Realize I am going upstream and I'm coming back downstream. And the current stays the same. So if I'm going upstream, I have the boat and I'm going to do minus the current. So C equals current. B equals boat speed. So C is current speed and B is boat speed. So going up, we're fighting the current. So it's going to be boat minus the current. Coming back down, it's boat plus the current. And it takes 1 hour more. So what's my distance? Well, it's the same. So we're going to leave that alone for a second. Takes 1 hour more to go 24 kilometers. Well, here's our distance. And 24. And 1 hour more to go upstream. So if my time going downstream is x, my time going upstream is x plus 1. And we know that the rate in still water is 18. So let's make that our current. So minus 18 here. And this is going to be plus 18. So that's my current. Oh no, that's my boat. Oops, 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 oops. Erase. So boat minus current. So 18 minus the current. 18 plus the current going downstream. Let's not do that. All right, so my time is, I'm going to work it the same way we did the first one. So time will be distance divided by rate. So let's look at that way because we had too many variables in here. So 24 divided by 18 minus c, and this then will be 24 divided by 18 plus c. All right, so we set this up. We know the time in still water takes 1 hour more to go upstream. So time going upstream equals 1 hour more than the time going downstream. All right, so the time going upstream is 24 over 18 minus c equals 1 plus the time going downstream, 24 over 18 plus c. Finish this out. We're going to multiply everything by the common denominator of 18 minus c and 18 plus c. So distribute that through the first one. 18 minus c goes away, so I'm left with 24 times 18 plus c equals, distributed here, 1 times 18 minus c times 18 plus c equals, distribute here, 18 plus c's cross off, so 24 times 18 minus c. Put the box here, finish this one out. So distribute 24 times 18. 24 times 18 is 432 plus 24c equals, distribute here. 1 doesn't matter, so 18 times 18 is 324 plus 18c minus 18c. Well, that should be a plus between these. And then minus c squared. Distribute here, so 24 times 18 is 432 minus 24c. Combine like terms, so 432 plus 24c equals, I have 324 and 432. 324 plus 432, 756. These go away. Minus 24c, and then minus c squared. I'm going to move everything to the left side. So move this over here. So I'm going to add c squared. I'm going to add 24c. And I'm going to minus 756. So this gives me a c squared plus a 48c. And then 432 minus 756. Negative 324 equals 0. Let's just use quadratic formulas. So c equals negative 48 plus or minus the square root of 48 squared minus 4ac, so negative 324, all over twice a2. So negative 48 plus or minus square root of, so 48 squared minus 4 parentheses negative 324, 3600, all over 2. So negative 48 plus or minus 60 over 2. So negative 48 plus 60 equals, divided by 2, positive 6. So one answer is negative 48 plus 60 divided by 2, which ends up being 6. The other answer is negative 48 minus 60 divided by 2. So negative 48 divided by 60, or minus 60, divided by 2, negative 54. Can't have a negative. So my answer is 6 for C, and that was the answer. Find the speed of the stream, 6, and it's 6 kilometers per hour. A lot involved with that one. Okay, last one. Henry and Irene working together can wash all the windows of their house in 1 hour and 48 minutes. Working alone, it takes Henry 1.5 hours more than Irene to do the job. How long does it take each person alone to wash the house? Well, we know we have Henry plus Irene to get one job done. And if they're working together, they can get the job done in 1 hour and 48 minutes. But we know Henry working alone can do one job in how long? Henry can take 1.5 hours more than Irene to do the job. So it would be Irene's speed plus 1.5 hours. And they're working for how long? 1 hour and 48 minutes. So 1 hour and 48 minutes would be, I need to convert that minutes to hours, so